Welcome back, Brickmaniacs. We are here in the Brickmania headquarters going over the new batch of Landos, Randos. Quite an impressive spread. What, there's like 500 of them?
There are 500 of these Landos, Randos.
Okay, that's pretty nuts. Each one of them unique, each one of them individual with something that, well, multiple things that make them cool, but each one kind of has their own little forte.
I hope they're cool,
that is super sweet. So now, I'm new here.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about how Landos Randos came to be a thing, other than the fact that your name happens to rhyme with it just perfectly.
That's literally it. No, how it actually got started. Right in the front we have V1 of this is the original, or one of the original Landos Randos, and how that started is I was just helping out back in the UV print shop, and I noticed that there's just like some scrap materials that they would use to test out print runs, and they kind of just accumulated on their desk, and they didn't really know what to do with them. They just kept on printing on them to test out the different artwork alignments, arrays, stuff like that. And rather than using like brand new Lego elements, they just would kind of use whatever they had lying around. And so typically that's just, I mean, they had no use for them, but I kind of thought I thought they kind of looked sweet. It's some sort of like robot, post-apocalypse kind of thing going on there. Yeah. And I kind of wanted to see how many I could make just using their scrap material to kind of build this, I guess, post-apocalyptic looking army.
Sure.
And it kind of snowballed from there, and it goes really well with all the different, like Will makes lots of crazy combinations for his BrickArms. Mm-hmm. And typically when you're building historical military stuff, you don't really have they're cool, those random BrickArms stuff, but they don't really fit into your builds. Whereas this, I thought, was a kind of a perfect application of just the sheer like variety of different cool BrickArms in combination with a random assortment of different print jobs. So we literally have everything, almost every single print job we've ever done, we've run on a test minifig here. So there's virtually a limitless combination of figures here. And there are no two that are alike, so which is really awesome. So there's some similarities that I try to create. It's not just complete chaos as I'm parting these out. Mm-hmm. There's just some, there's always this funny inner dialogue that I'm running on, like why is this guy wearing this hat? It's a good chance for just to kind of let your imagination sort of run wild when you're creating these things. Yeah, that's the kind of where that came from.
So when did it go from something that just around the office you put together a bunch of parts and we're like, yeah, that looks kind of cool, to putting more together and realizing like, these are so cool, I should try to make them available to people in case they also think something like this is cool.
I think I posted a couple pictures up on my Instagram account, and there was some pretty good reaction to it. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh man, where can I get this? And like, well, this is just a fun thing that I'm putting together, and they're kicking around the office.
Right.
And, I think there got to be enough requests for it that I went to the print shop and like, do you guys have more of this stuff? And they're like, well, sure enough, we totally do have more of this. So it's anything from like, sometimes those printers will just straight up glitch out, and they will print completely like a half-inch off, and it just totally messes things up. And rather than just getting rid of those things, I think they still look really cool. It still had the artwork on it is still the actual artwork. So in a sense, these are all kind of little time capsules of the artwork that we were printing in that era. So the first batch of Landos Randos, I mean, however long ago that was, you would see the print jobs of that kind of the kits that were coming out at that time. And now there's a lot more new art on here, so they kind of slowly, gradually upgrade. So some of these figures will have 5-10 different print jobs on them. So it's just they're all mixed up. Whatever surfaces was open and available to test out on.
Well, and in terms of accessory-wise, just how far in variations have we come since the first batch of Randos? Because obviously you have a lot more different helmets, hats, guns, everything to work with.
Well, and then speaking of that, our 3D printing that we were doing now, that wasn't available at the time. And so this is a great opportunity to use these test runs as kind of a good application of them. So we have lots of different 3D printed parts here in different colors, different prototypes. Sometimes it's like, hey, let's thicken this part up, let's get rid of this. All of these are just prototype 3D printed parts here. So some of them are one of a kinds. I think in this front row, there's some different sizes of helmets there. The lunar astronaut, they went through quite a few different helmet variations to get to where they were. Some of them are kind of hilarious. I'll go over that in a little bit here. But yeah, some of these are one-of-a-kinds. And then also with the UV printing onto the helmets and faces, there's some texture printing going on there that maybe wasn't as common back when I started these. So, and of course, it's just a platform to get like cool stuff out there that maybe isn't exactly in our core product line. Like, I don't know, I think glow-in-the-dark skulls are pretty awesome. So I was like, hey, let's make a run of glow-in-the-dark skulls for this batch. So there's probably about 100 of them mixed in here, maybe more than that, maybe 200 mixed into this batch here. That it's an exclusive glow-in-the-dark skull, and it's based off of some video game box cover artwork that you might be familiar with, combined with the Lego skull. So it's a Lego-fied version of that, which is just sweet. So.
Very cool.
It's no other reason than I thought that would be a kind of a funny, cool thing to do. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think the core essence of Lando's Randos is if it looks cool, it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what got it off the ground. Obviously, you thought that was cool, and then look what it's turned into.
There we go. There we go.
That's pretty awesome. This batch of Lando's Randos is going to be available on brickmania.com starting 11/26, which is a Tuesday. So make sure to get on those while they last. They'll also be available in Brickmania stores throughout Blackbird Friday weekend. So if you're hanging out with our events, make sure to stop by and pick up your batch from the new Lando's Rando. But now let's take a little bit closer look at some of the randos that you find particularly interesting, because I think there's a lot to go over here.
Yeah, let's go to it. Hey, it's Lando here with the Lando Cam 1, and we're going to go for an in-depth FPV look at the Lando's Randos. So first thing off the bat, you'll notice all these cool skull faces here, right? And I was kind of going for a little bit of a common theme. We have these Vietnamese, these Viet Cong torsos that all got misprinted in purple. So I went and matched that up with some purple hands. So there's a lot of those guys. But that comes with that cool skull.
Well, those purple uniforms with that skull, those really work together. It almost looks like it was like planned that way. That's badass.
Honestly, I was trying to get it out for Halloween, but man, it was just a little bit of a rush for this, so we moved it back to Black Friday. So moving down, so we got some muzzle brake head. That's always a popular right there. And I think that was either printed on my 3D printer or that would have been Camera Guy's 3D printer. We have the same one that we were in the early stages testing that out. Moving down, some more 3D printed headgear right here. This is from, which kit was this in originally?
F14.
F14, yeah. That's another one of those test print ones. Texture printed Stahlhelm right there. That's really cool. Moving down, of course, we got a lot of these Brody helmets. They're kind of cool. They have this swirl pattern going on that some of them you can see it better than others. There's like a swirl pattern that's injected like that actually, so all of those are one of a kind as well. And of course, I like mixing in BrickArms with all of these randos. So I have a lot of different BrickArms here. Some perfect caliber stuff, some overmolded stuff actually. Look at those M27s right there. I think, oh man, those are really rare. So those would be cool. As I'm putting these together, I'm not necessarily just grabbing the next piece that's available. I'm trying to kind of do a little bit of color matching here and there.
You can tell.
And it's sometimes stuff like this, it's like, yeah, that looked kind of cool. That little yellow hand, yellow helmet. I mean, there's more combinations like that down the road, and I'll get into that in a second. I'm gonna go back to the weapons here. We have some kit exclusive pieces as well. Check out that the Sketch Stud. That's hilarious. That's from the which kit was that? That was the Scrapyard Stewart. Yeah, Scrapyard
cool.
Stewart. That was in that kit.
That's a throwback.
Perfect caliber stuff.
This one looks really cool.
Which one are we at here? Oh yeah. So this is a perfect caliber sniper rifle there with kind of that desert camo. We weren't totally happy with the color on that, so we pulled a few out of those out of production. But they're still really cool. So yeah. Some wine bottles, some more Sketch Studs. And then I'm going to be adding a lot more random colored BrickArms to this. So this is just a sampling of the stuff that I took out of our Rando collection to put into here. Moving on, again, more of the, this first row here, these are all kit exclusive figures that so there's 10 of these, and then I just put some different heads on them. But these all debuted in kits, and that's the only place you can find them up until now, and I'm going to sneak these into this batch of randos. So, I mean, these alone Some of these go for 20 or more dollars.
Is this a mosquito pilot?
20, 30, yeah.
Wow.
What was he in?
Mosquito, right?
I'm not positive actually.
Fair enough. Well, that blue looks awesome.
Yeah. This guy right here this is the Russian tanker. You could only get that in that kit. This is the Mouse Commander. Yeah, there's just some exclusive figures here. Moving on up this list here, check out those Africa Corps hats right there. Those caps are cool. Moving up, we have. I really like these guys.
Oh, those fleurs look really well in that space helmet.
Again,
That's
it's
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of going back to that like post-apocalyptic robot cyborg theme that I originally thought that these kind of reminded me of. So it's always hinting at that. It's cool stuff. Moving down this row, here's some more of those. These are some early prototype lunar astronaut helmets, and I thought that was particularly funny. That was before a lot of the detail was put on it, and I was literally just doing that for sizing, but it ends up looking like some weird sort of like Q-tip head. So we were kind of laughing about that. Some of these minifigures also come with multiple faces, as you can see on this guy right here. Oops, sorry. As you can see on this guy right here, there's multiple faces on a lot of these. I've seen one with like 5 or 6 faces just kind of crammed together on one face.
Terrifying.
And kind of more going into, if there's a little bit of like some sub-themes within here, we have this aviator pilot mask mixed with these really cool field caps. It's a little bit of a, I don't know, some cool things going on here, I think. Over here, I like this group of the yellow gang, I don't know.
Mr. Yuck.
Yeah, Mr.
But in
Yuck,
Lego
totally,
form.
I wish.
Sorry for those of you too young to get that.
I really want to make a Mr. Yuck minifigure. Let's do that for the next one. How about
There we
that?
go.
Moving down here. Oh yeah, that's kind of finishing up the collection down here. So that is a up close look of all the Lando's Randos that we got.
So looking over this batch, kind of getting ready to go online here, what would be your favorite Rando from this current selection?
Oh man, I was about to lose my mind going through all these different combinations as I was putting them together this week. But let me think here. I really like kind of seeing weird camouflage patterns. This was one of my favorites. I'm not going to commit to being my favorite, but this was one of my favorites. This green dude with weird camouflage on there. I thought it was kind of a slick looking combo. So I added some green hands to go with that and the green head. Yeah, why not? He's my favorite. I'll go with that. Whoever gets that, that's pretty cool.
All right, Landon, thank you very much for showing me around Lando's Randos. Obviously, this is the first Horde that I've been a part of, so this is super cool.
What's your favorite one? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
My favorite one so far.
I saw you coming back here throughout the day. Like, man,
I gotta grab this dude just because I remember the Kepi being created, and I like how double-sided he is, and I like how there's that. If you look at the top part of the hat, I think that's pretty cool.
All right.
They have a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Plus, it's the only Kepi I can see on the thing right now, so that makes them a little more exclusive, which is awesome. So once again, this Horde is going to be available online and in our store starting on the 26th, and then kind of as long as they last, which I'm sure won't be too terribly long. Although thankfully you did put in the work to give us a very sizable Horde this time.
So hopefully everyone who wants one can get one or more. And I'm going to be hiding some exclusive things in here, some really rare BrickArms, some overmolded stuff. Even like kit exclusive figures. This is just, I'm mixing everything into this batch. So yeah, they're $15, but man, there's some figures in there that are easily worth $30-40. So
nice.
It's gonna be pretty nuts.
No holds barred, unapologetic Lando's Randos. Right. Very, very cool. Once again, check those out starting on the 26th. Thanks for watching.
Oh, I'm gonna reveal camera guy for the first time. Okay.
So I know I kind of said earlier when we were talking about favorites that the guy with the Kepi is my favorite.
I think you just panicked.
I totally panicked because
I mean the Kepi's cool,
but these two guys, those guys are where it's at right there. So this is the APC, right?
Something like
the
that.
helmet that came with one of the sci-fi kits, and then this guy looks like he's this dude's commander in some post-apocalyptic sci-fi world that I need to build.
So does he have? Is that his like Lego arms showing through? Or is that like a yellow shirt that he's wearing?
I'd like to think
if you compare it to
that
this guy, like
some arms.
Is he wearing a yellow mask?
Or does he just have like plow marks on his face?
What do minifigures think about people wearing like yellow? Is that like us wearing like
skin
a flesh-colored balaclava?
That's a strange
What's going
notion
on
there,
here?
my friend. I don't know. I don't know. This guy definitely needs a sword, I'm thinking, because he's the leader of your
Sword.
evil army.
He's the leader? I like the green guy. Toxic green. You're just so toxic. Dual green swords.
Duh.
Dual. Obviously dual green swords.
This is the Rando.
See, this is
the battle to decide the leader of the land of this horde of Lando's Randos. It's between these two.
I mean, this is serious business here. I mean, like look at this guy. There's some sort of like cool anime pose. You know, he'd like run really quickly, and this other guy would just slice in half perfectly. Yeah.